In my residency, I had seen one case of 60-year-old female. That female had presented to my OPD with complaint of bilateral shoulder and hip pain for like 3 week duration. She told me that she was feeling a stiffness in her bilateral shoulder and hip joint in the morning, and that used to last about an hour. She had pain, stiffness going on for about 3 week duration. And apart from that, she did not have any other systemic symptoms. Only pain and stiffness in bilateral shoulder and hip joint. She did not have involvement of the small joints. So I thought it might be rheumatoid arthritis because she is having inflammatory arthritis, or might be polymyalgia rheumatica since she is elderly. So I ordered inflammatory markers, CSR, CRP, CBC, TSH, rheumatoid factor, and on report I found that rheumatoid factor was negative, but there was leukocytosis, thrombocytosis, hypoalbuminemia. Albumin was like 2.5, and ESR CRP was elevated. So those all parameters are suggesting there is inflammation in the blood going on, right? So definitely she is having inflammation in her shoulder and hip joints. So I ordered X-ray and ultrasonography of her joint. X-ray was normal and ultrasonography revealed bursitis and tenosynovitis, which is inflammation of the tendon sheaths in the shoulder and hip joints. So with this picture, diagnosis is pretty much clear about polymyalgia rheumatica, right? Because she is having these inflammatory symptoms going on for more than 2 weeks, and in blood there is elevated inflammatory markers, and her age fits because she is elderly female, right? So I started her on prednisolone 15 mg per day, and I tapered her prednisolone at 3 weeks. I tapered by 2.5 mg every week, and when I tapered it to 8 mg per day, she again started having those symptoms in her shoulder and hip. So I just increased from 8 to 10 mg per day, and again her symptoms subsided. So I maintained her on prednisolone for 10 mg per day for 6 more weeks, and then again started tapering to 8 mg per day, then to 6 mg per day, and then she did not have symptoms. So what I mean to say with this case is that when you have a case of polymyalgia rheumatica and that is not responding to, or I mean to say that if she has recurrence of symptoms on tapering prednisolone, you don't need to add methotrexate. You can just increase the prednisolone dose and see the response for a few weeks, and then again you can consider tapering down. Definitely methotrexate has some data that it is beneficial in relapsing or recurrent polymyalgia rheumatica, but I have not seen any cases in my practice who required methotrexate or tocilizumab interleukin 6 antagonist. Definitely those interleukin 6 antagonist is beneficial if there is involvement of temporal artery, right? Because in this polymyalgia rheumatica there is vasculitis, association with vasculitis as well. This temporal artery, subclavian artery can be involved, right? So when there is giant cell arteritis, we definitely have to give high dose steroid, not even 15 mg but 60 mg per day, and we have to give tocilizumab, right? But if there is just polymyalgia rheumatica without these vasculitic picture, then we can manage with low dose prednisolone as well, and low dose prednisolone can show dramatic improvement. And regarding association with vasculitis, what I would like to tell you that in PET scans there have been many studies done, and PET scan they have shown that aorta is also inflamed. So there is involvement of aorta, subclavian artery. In one case I had read about that case, there was subclavian stenosis in the right side, and the blood pressure difference between her both arm were 16 mmHg difference. So subclavian stenosis can also occur in polymyalgia rheumatica if there is vasculitis association, right?